Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials on any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com.
Last time we have discussed about what is version control system. Also, we have discussed different types of version control systems like we have local version control system where you keep all the changes or all the different versions of your project on your local system. Second, we have discussed about the centralized version control system where you keep your changes uh, in on the remote repository, right? And third was the distributed version control system, which is a combination of these two. Means you make the changes on your local system and keep your changes over there. And when you decide, okay, this particular version of the code should be moved to the remote repository, then you just move it or push it to the remote repository. So these three things we have discussed. We have seen some Git commands also because Git is the example of the distributed version control system, like Bitbucket is the another option. And after that, we have discussed uh, there are three areas where you keep your files before or not to the commit inside the local repository only. So where you keep the files, snapshots on. So for that, basically what you do, there is a area which is called the untracked, where which is basically in which indicates it is a working copy. Means you are working on that particular project and you have not decided to commit those changes into your local repository. So first is the untracked, second is the stage area with the git add command, git init command to initialize your local repository, git add command to uh, add the untracked file into stage area, and third was the git commit command where you keep the all these local repository files into the local repository. And then we have discussed few commands like, as I mentioned, every commit will have one commit ID. Okay, every commit will have one unique commit ID. So you can, if you want, you can see the difference between different commits. You can log. We have also seen the reset command last time and the revert command. Okay, so all these things we have discussed so far. Now I think we can move ahead and we will see further what are the different commands. Last time also we have created one GitHub repository, right? So GitHub, if I go to GitHub, so we have created one account, right, on the GitHub. And I have shown you how to create a repository by clicking on the new, and you can create. So let me create a repository here. So let me create a repository called test repository. I think I already have. I will take DevOps. Okay, so I will take DevOps. Repository name, as I mentioned, public. Public means you can use it uh, for publicly. So there are two types of repository. One is public, one is private. So public repository means it is visible to everyone, and private means it is only visible to you or your team members, whosoever is a collaborators in this repository. Okay. So private repository is not free of cost. You have to pay for that. Public repository is free. Okay. So as many as files you want to put, you can put it into the public repository. So now these days, most of the open source systems, like if you take the Kubernetes, if you take Docker, if you take Ansible, most of them, they are having the public GitHub repository for their tools, and uh, and you can refer those GitHub repositories for means how to use those particular tools. Okay, so most of the open source tools, they are having their own GitHub repository publicly, which is publicly available. If it is publicly available, it does not mean that anyone can change it. So it's a read-only access to the others and read and write access to the owner. Okay, so for example, I am creating this DevOps repository. Then this DevOps repository, I'm the owner, so I can make the changes. You can see it, you can download it, but you cannot upload the changes to my repository. Okay, so down here there are some options that you want to read this file, you want to add the README file, you want to add gitignore. Last time we have discussed gitignore, right? If you want to ignore some files, you want to choose a license. So I'm not selecting any one of this. I'm just directly clicking on the create repository. Okay. Now this is there are two URLs you can see. This is for HTTPS and second for the SSH key.
Hey viewers, our Mastery in DevOps engineering program can help you to hone the skills necessary to succeed in high-level DevOps positions. So, what are you waiting for? Enroll now and earn certification that show you are keeping pace with today's technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
So we will go with the HTTPS here. We will refer to this. SSH key means if you create the SSH key on your system and you copy it into the settings, SSH settings of GitHub, then you need not to log in again and again. It will be automatically logged. And the other way is the HTTPS, means when you connect, it will ask the user ID password. You can store that user ID password on your local system, but uh, GitHub side, it will not be stored. GitHub has, means you have your own user ID and password. It will not store that this particular system which is connected to me, its credential is stored on the GitHub. Means you have to log in from your local system if you are having the HTTPS URL. I will show you that. Okay, so this is the URL, right? So now here you can see some commands. So let me just open any of my repository, or we can create a new one. So if I go to ctemp, okay, we'll create this. My project was, okay, so I think this was the project which we were discussing last time. Let me right click and git bash here. Okay, so let me increase. So here, if I say git status, so no changes to be added. Okay, so let me just check the git log hyphen hyphen one line. Okay, so there was a reverse change. Okay, so currently reverting the fix. Okay, so let me just actually we are having this these two reverts, right? Last time which we have done. So it is a good practice. Don't keep the head, means the index position, at the revert, right? You can keep it, but it's a good practice that if we have something uh, which is not the revert on the top, because your index position, your the head position is pointing to the revert. So what I'll do here, I will create one more file, say touch, and if I say, so far we have created 4 files, right? So let us create file 5.txt file. Okay, if I say git status now, so there is a, okay, so there is one more unmerged. I think I have used it for different threads. That's why it is. Okay, so let us have this repository only. Okay, so if I say git status, so it is showing that 5.txt file is untracked and there are some unmerged parts. Okay, so let me just restore this. Okay, last time we have discussed the restore command and the file name, which is file 4.txt. Okay, now if I say git status, okay, now I have five number file. Okay, now if I say git add dot, now if I say git status, now I have 5 number file. Okay, now git commit -m, and I will say file 5 is empty. Okay, so now if I say git status, okay, nothing to commit. Okay, so what I have done, I have created one more file and there was some disturbance, so I removed that disturbance by there is one deleted file, so I unstage it, and because that file was deleted, and now all the files are available here, right? So um, we have file 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, right? Now what I want to do, I want to push these files to my remote repository, and to push these files to the remote repository, so there are some steps which are given here on the repository side itself. So what it is saying, create a new repository. So if you want to create a new repository, you have to follow this step, git init and then commit and then push. But we already have the existing repository. So what I need to do, I just need to run this command. So this command, what it will do, to my local repository, it will add a reference to the remote repository. Okay, so
Hey viewers, trying to get into DevSecOps? Enroll for our DevSecOps certified professional programs and earn the certification that shows you are fit for these technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
So this is the URL which is for my repository. So git remote add origin. So let me run this command. Okay, so now it has added the reference to my remote repository, but still I did not provide the credentials, right? I did not provide the credential for these the remote repository. So that I will provide when I push some changes to the remote repository, right? So here this is done. Now next what it is saying, we need to do git push -u origin m. So actually by default, there is one branch get created, which is called the master branch on the local repository. So how you see that branch? Git branch command. So you can see everything we are doing in a master branch. Branching concept we will discuss in a bit. But as of now, we have this branch. And my remote repository is blank. Right? So if I run a command, git push origin master. So it means I'm running this command git push origin master to push the changes of your local repository to remote repository. Okay. So okay, I think I have added earlier some other repository unable to access this. So basically what happens, I have two repository. I think I have used the other one. Let me just quickly create. Okay, so if I go here and I think last time we have created, or let me create a new repository again, DevOps. Okay, and public create repository. And I will add this one. Okay, so this is already exist. Okay, in my case. Okay, let's do one thing. Let us create a new repository because here I have already added. So for you, it will be, I think for the previous batch, I was doing all this activity. So it's mixed up. So we'll create one project here. Say, so origin master means where it means from my host local machine, what is the branch name? Okay, so that is the origin master. So if I say my project one, okay, and if I say git bash here, and now if I say git init, right, and here I will create a file, say one.txt file, and if I say git add dot git commit -m, and I'll say one.txt is added. Okay, now we will use this command. Okay, so this is added. Now I want to push the changes. So the command is git push origin. Okay, so actually in my case, it did not ask the credential because I have already stored those credential into my repository. But in your case, when you run it, it will ask the credential. It will ask that what is the user ID, what is the password. So I have already recorded that into my credential file. That's why it is not asking. But in your case, what it will do, it will ask what is the user ID and what is the password. One time you need to enter it, and next time it will automatically take that credential from that configuration file. So now my files has been pushed, and you need to enter the credential for your GitHub, right? So so now my file should be pushed here. So if I refresh this, so you can see there is one.txt file is moved here. Okay. Now let me create one more file here. if I say touch 2.txt, okay. So here git status. So if I say git add dot git commit minus m and 2.txt is added. Okay, now I want to push this change also. Then I will run a command git push origin, and master is my branch name, right? So I'm pushing that changes. Now these changes also has been pushed. Now if I reload it, so you can see 2.txt file is also moved. Now there are few things which we need to remember here, that if you are pushing the changes to the remote repository, before that both should be in the sync. What I mean? Okay, so there is a question. Git add dot command will push multiple files in the stage area. Yes, that is correct.
Hey viewers, are you looking for formal training on SRE practices? Take our SRE program. This course will teach you how to successfully implement site reliability engineering in the modern day 24/7 services. Kickstart your SRE training today. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
Okay, so multiple untracked files. Okay, now for example, I can create a file directly here also. So I'm creating a file here, create new file, and I'll say 3.txt file. If you want to write something, this is 3.txt file. Now this file I am not creating on my local system. I'm directly creating on the GitHub. Okay. So if I go here on my local repository, and if I say ls, so there is no 3.txt file, right? There is no 3.txt file. To now you, if you create some file here, say an example, you are creating a file 4.txt file, and git add and git commit minus m 4.txt is added. Now if you try to push these changes to the GitHub repository, let us see what will happen. So if I say git push origin master, okay, it is rejected. Why? Because my local repository is not in sync with the remote repository. So first what I need to do, I need to make it in sync. How to make it in sync? So there are a few commands. So you can run a command git fetch. Okay, so when you run this git fetch command, so what it will do, it will check what are the different objects on the remote repository, and after that it will compare that is there any file which is not available on the local repository and it is available on the GitHub repository. So it is giving some difference and it will fetch that file. Okay, that file is fetched to your local system, but it will not show here. So if I run ls command, so you cannot see 3.txt file. Now if I say git merge origin master, Okay, so now it is saying I am going to merge the changes. I am saying yes, that is fine. So if I say click here, so now it fetch was already done, and now it will be merged to your master branch. So if I say ls here, now you can see 3.txt file is available. So how many steps I have used? First step is a fetch. In fetch step, what it will do, it will go to the remote repository and fetch the differences. And when I say merge, then it will merge to my master branch. Okay, so this merge is done. Now we have 1, 2, and 3. 3.txt file was created on the GitHub repository. 4.txt file I have created here. Now if I try to push the changes, I can do that. So if I say git push origin master, so on the remote repository, if I reload this, there is no 4.txt file, right? So if I say git push origin master, now there is no rejection error because now it is pushed. So if I go here and reload this page, so now my files are in sync. Okay, my files are in sync with the remote repository. So 1.txt, 2.txt, 3 and 4.txt, all files are here. Now next is that anyone has any questions so far? Okay. So now these 4 files are here. For example, a new developer comes and he or she needs some he or she needs the latest and greatest project of this. Then there is a command. So for example, if I go back to a, or maybe here directly, right? So I'm on some other directory now, ctemp, and consider this is a system of that user who is newly joined to your project and he wants the latest and the greatest project. So for that, the command will be git clone and the https URL. So git clone https and then the repository URL. So when you run this command, if it is a public repository, then it will not ask any user ID and password because public repository you can clone it. But if it is private, it will ask for the authentication. And you need to provide the valid user ID and password. Now here, if I see, so there is a there was already my project directory was there. So it's better we will create one more directory here, and I will say test directory or new developer directory. And if I go cd new developer, right, and here I will repeat that command git clone. Now under this new developer directory, if I see, so there is a DevOps directory get created. So if I go back here, so you can see there is one DevOps directory because when I created here, and now this is under this directory, there is excuse me, there is one DevOps directory get created, and this is having the same number of files, or you can say this is initialized from the remote repository. So it means all the files which were on the remote repository, you can see over here. And that git remote add origin command also get executed for this. So it means if I go to this directory and if I if I create a file, say touch, so where I am currently ctemp new dev DevOps directory, right? And if okay, so there is a question. Git is local to one developer, whereas GitHub is allows us to share our repository with the developers. Yes, multiple developers. That's correct. So, for example, if you also run this command on your system, you will be able to download the entire project. Okay. Now, so now 1.txt, 2.txt, all the files are available here. If I create new file, so this developer is creating a new file, 5.txt. And if I say git add dot git commit -m, and I'll say 5.txt is added, right? So now in this repository of the new developers repository, 5.txt file is the new file. So now he wants to push these changes to the global repository. Then same command git, because as of now we are having only master branch. So we will discuss about multiple branches in a bit. Git push origin master. Okay, so I'm pushing these changes. Now the changes.
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.